Footnote to the Youth by Jose Garcia Villa. Jose Garcia Villa was born on August 5, 1908. He studied at the University of the Philippines, but became suspended in 1929 due to his erotica poem series entitled Man of Songs, which was published in the Philippines Herald Machine. In the same year, he joined a short story contest arranged by the Philippine Free Press and he won. He used the prize money he received to travel to the United States, and he enrolled at the University of New Mexico. He moved to the Greenwich Village in New York City, and there he became the only Asian poet in the community that also consisted of Edward S. Lynn Cummings, Winston U. Auden, and other modernist poets. In the year 1933, he wrote the Footnote to Youth, Tales of the Philippines and Others, which became the first fiction book that was written by a Filipino author and published by a major United States-based press. He used the pen name Doveglion, which was a combination of the words gentle as a dove, free as an eagle, and fierce as a lion. It is not just a symbol of being a renowned poet, but a statement of rebellion against his father. The American Academy of Arts and Letters Poetry Award, the Guggenheim Fellowship, the Shelley Memorial Award, the Philippines Heritage Award, the Rockefeller Foundation Fellowship, and many more honors and prizes were given to Villa. He was also declared as the National Artist of the Philippines in 1973.
Presentation of the text. To summarize the story, Dodong is a 17-year-old, a farmer's son, who can't wait to marry Taeyang. Dodong was hesitant to tell his parents. He became resentful when his father asked twice about his decision, but then eventually, his father agreed with him, and now, his father allowed him to marry. He and Taeyang got married and had a child called Blas. But then eventually, over the years, they had more children. Taeyang was out of shape, she is thin, and after all the handling and responsibilities of being a mother and a wife, Taeyang often wonders what could possibly happen if she had chosen Lucio. Lucio is her other lover. Lucio was her lover, but eventually he also got married, but he did not have a child. Then one night, Blas, their eldest son, wanted to marry Tona, like what Dodong did when they were about 17. Dodong, like his father, asked twice about his son's decision, but after that, he allowed Blas to marry Tona. The story ended with Dodong feeling sad and sorry for his son.
Literary analysis. Setting. The first setting of the story is in the rice field, where Dodong is working and the sun is ready to set. This is when he decided to tell his father about his intention in marrying Taeyang as he got home. The second setting is in their bamboo house. It's already night when Dodong got home, and this is where he told his father about him wanting to marry Taeyang, and his father agreed. The third setting is outside of their house. It is an afternoon and the weather is hot. This is where Dodong stood while his wife Taeyang giving birth, because he cannot stand the screaming of his wife as she gave birth. The fourth setting is inside the small sawali room, where Taeyang is asleep after giving birth and Dodong finally meet his first child with happiness. The fifth setting is in the bamboo house again, where Dodong and Taeyang reside with the family they built. In the night, outside of their house, Dodong thought about the decisions he made that led to what he is experiencing in the present, full of challenges. The sixth Setting is in the yard of their bamboo house at night. This is where Blas and Dodong talk about the decision of Blas to marry Tona, and where Dodong agrees with his son's wish.
So Dodong is the main character of this story, who wishes to marry at an early age. He is the major character where the plot revolves around his life. He is also a protagonist. His characterization is round because the readers can relate to him, especially when deciding impulsively. Next is his movement is very dynamic because throughout the course of this story, his realization is eventually changing. Next is we have Taeyang. Taeyang, on the other hand, regretted marrying at an early age. She is the wife of Dodong. She is a minor character and she is also a protagonist. Her characterization is also round because she is having regrets about this marriage and having regrets about her life choices. But her movement is static. Next is we have Lucio. Lucio is Taeyang's other suitor who got married after she did and who is childless up until now. He is also a minor character and an antagonist because she is the rival of Dodong. His characterization is flat and his movement is also static. Next on the list is we have Blas. Blas is Dodong and Taeyang's eldest son who followed in their footsteps in the end. Blas contemplated about marrying Tona when he was 18. He is also a minor character. He is an antagonist because in this case, Blas became resentful to his father, and his characterization is also flat because his decision is straight and he never doubted his choices. His movement is static. Next is we have Tona. Tona, the woman whom Blas wanted to marry. She is also a minor character and also an antagonist in this case, and her characterization is flat and her movement is static.
Conflict. Man versus himself. There was an internal conflict between Dodong and the decisions he made. He regretted that he let him and Taeyang go through such hardships at a young age because they were blinded by the joy and love they are experiencing before they got married. Also, when their son Blas talked about his wish to marry Tona, Dodong already knew what would be the consequence of it, but he did not dare to speak up about what was on his mind because he couldn't protest his son's wish. So he just agreed while feeling sorry to his son's life would be.
Exposition. Dodong is working in the field while he contemplates his thought of whether he would tell his father about his wanting to marry Taeyang as he got home.
Rising action. Dodong tells his father about the marriage he wants and asks for his permission. His father asks him if he must marry because he was too young for marriage. And Dodong got pissed because of the question, and he told him that he wants to marry Taeyang. Eventually, his father gives him permission helplessly. Dodong got happy and dreams about himself and Taeyang.
Taeyang is giving birth to their first child and Dodong cannot stand the screaming he's hearing during the labor. He goes outside and realizes that he is going to be a father, but he is still young, contradicting to what he said 9 months ago. He felt embarrassed of his mother because of her young paternity, and he wanted to hide and run because of his embarrassment. Eventually, he came up to the house and got inside the small sawali room where he saw his wife asleep and their first child crying. He then felt the happiness and wanted to carry his child.
Falling action. After several years, Dodong and Taeyang already have many children, and Dodong regrets it. Taeyang got tired of the house chores she was doing every day and wished that she did not marry. She also wondered what if she married the other suitor she had before, Lucio, who got married after her marriage and is still childlike now. Would she bear him a child or not either? And that is a lot better, she thought, but she loved Dodong. One night, Dodong has many questions on his mind that needed an answer, but he cannot get a response. One of them was why life did not fulfill all of its dreams, why it has been abandoned. He returned to their home, humiliated by himself.
Blas, their 18-year-old son, talked to Dodong about him wanting to marry Tona. Dodong didn't want his son to marry yet, so he asked him a question about why he must marry, just like what his father asked him before. Blas also got pissed because of the question and firmly responded that he will marry Tona. Helpless Dodong, he cannot forbid his son to marry even though he knows what life awaits him, as it happens to him. Dodong just felt sad and sorry for him.
Theme. The theme of the story is about the youth's exhilaration. All four characters, Dodong, Taeyang, Tona, and Blas, are motivated by youthful exuberance and enthralled by these impulses. They believe marriage is only for fun and games. Thus, they are unaware of the serious side of life.
The author uses third person's point of view when speaking, as the pronouns used are he, his, she, her, and they.
Narrator. Reliable narrator. The point of view is consistent and doesn't confuse the readers on what is going on in the story. There are no narrative techniques used in the short story.
Literary appreciation. It emphasizes the characteristics of adolescence, realistic depiction of a family's challenges and despair, impulsive decisions and repeating cycles. Emphasizes the characteristics of adolescence to make marriage's responsibilities clear to young people. The title alone serves as an evident warning concerning the dangers of unrequited and unexpected love to teenagers who frequently succumb to delusion of love. The narrative is a detailed and realistic depiction of a family's challenges and despair as a result of early marriages. It serves as a warning to today's growing generation of young people as pregnancy is alarmingly rising. This narrative provides the reader an outline of a marriage based on shaky foundation fantasies and youthful love. The narrative also shows how naive and impulsive adolescents can be when it comes to their own judgment and decisions. It shows how stern and resentful one adolescent could be if their desire would not be granted by this. It reflects how it becomes a cycle. Dodong could have done something to change his son's fate, but he has consumed by his regrets and his own life decisions that he did not stop his own son. Maybe this is an eye-opener that experiences can become a key to ending impulsive decisions and repeating cycles. Another thing is, it shows how baseless and thoughtless a decision is if it involves emotions. It leaves all the rationality and sticks to the spur of the moment feelings. As a result, no one dared to look at the bigger picture. In this narrative, Dodong did not think about creating a family with Taeyang, but only thought of becoming his. He lacked planning and just went with the flow of life. This narrative serves the purpose of telling the young how to be wise and rational.